Ask your friends and family to leave your product a review. Well, that advice got thousands of Amazon sellers' accounts banned in the last month. In this video, I will review 5 common myths Amazon sellers still believes that can kill your business, and show you the proven strategies you need to scale bigger and safer at the same time. By the way, my name is Alan. I have sold over $5 million on Amazon, and I have helped dozens of Amazon sellers grow their business to 7 figures in the last year. Let's talk about myth number 1, which is there is a honeymoon period. Now, everyone loves and believes about the magical honeymoon period, the secret window where Amazon supposedly showers newly launched products with extra love and easy rankings. And well, I hate to break it to you, but it's just a fairy tale. Why? Because if this is true, I won't have to turn on my PPC and customer would have just automatically come to my listing and started buying. But that is not the case at all. However, here is the reality. The only boost you get is showing up on the new release page in your category. And guess how many shoppers are browsing that page? Well, practically none. Unless you somehow grab that #1 new release badge, you're not getting any special treatments at all. So stop believing any gurus talk about honeymoon periods. There are no secret launching boost. I have personally launched over 50 products and none of them relied on the honeymoon period. They built on their own momentum with great PPC strategies, pricing strategies, reviews, the whole package. Now let's talk about the fastest way to get your business nuked, because this next myth could cost you everything. And it's the one that I see new sellers fall for every single day. Let's talk about myth number 2. Here's a classic myth that all gurus tells you about. So you just listed your Amazon product, your products arrived in the Amazon warehouse, and you're super pumped. You've got your photos, your bullets, and your fancy A+ content ready to launch your product. And everyone says, turn on the ads right now and start getting those sales rolling in. So then you just fire up your PPC and, well, nothing happens. Or worse, that you spend a fortune and get nothing back because you do not have a review or social proof of your listing yet. So, do I recommend turning PPC right away? Absolutely not. Well, here's what I would do and what I tell every client of mine to do. Before you spend a single dime on advertising, get your first 30 reviews from Amazon Vine first. Amazon Vine is Amazon's official way to get your first initial reviews from credible Vine reviewers. Not from your cousins, not from your dog walker. You want real, honest feedbacks from actual customers. Now those reviews, they are the rocket fuel for your conversion rate. If you don't have any reviews when you launch, your ads are just lighting money on fire and hoping for the best. But hold up here, there is a trap here. So if your product is tricky to use, like hard to install or confusing out of the box, do not enroll into Vine review program because Vine reviewers are more brutal on giving reviews. So if your product are difficult to use, they will torch your listing with low stars and your conversion rate will tank before you even get started. So the bottom line is that whenever you first launch your product, don't rush into PPC. You want to get your first batch of reviews first. And if your product isn't a very, very simple product, I would just skip Vine or risking a bloodbath. And I would just launch at a very competitive price at the beginning because you don't have any reviews. Now let's talk about another myth that could permanently get your Amazon business banned. If you don't follow this advice, it's the one that I see sellers fall for every single time and goes bankrupt. So let's debunk this dangerous myth next. Now, you probably heard this 1,000 times. Just have your friends and family leave you a glowing reviews to get started. Well, at first it sounds harmless, right? Well, wrong. That is how sellers get their entire account banned permanently, because what you were actually doing was called a review manipulation in Amazon terms of service. Amazon AI are just way smarter than you think. They know your grandma's IP address, your buddy's Wi-Fi, and even your neighbor's dog's Instagram. So if you try to game with the review system, they will wipe out of your business faster than you can say 5-star. And I have seen it happen over and over again. A seller gets a handful of fake reviews, they start seeing sales, and then bam, their account got suspended, their inventory got locked up, and their appeal got denied. All the money that they have made, all the money that they have invested just disappeared. So the bottom line is that you never ever risk your account for a couple of fake reviews. One slip and you're done. So remember to play by the rules, build real trust, and your business will last. And if you don't have reviews, you want to make sure to use Amazon Vine program. So right now, you're playing by the rules now. That is great. But now every seller believes that ads are only meant to be profitable. And if it's not great. But most sellers that I know are obsessed with this myth that advertising should always be profitable. Well, let's crush that myth too, because it is keeping you stuck in a kettle pool. Here's where most sellers absolutely blow it. They look at their PPC campaigns and then they see like 40% ACoS and then they just freaks out, right? They're gonna be like, oh my God, my ads aren't making money. I'm gonna shut them all off. I'm going to lose my shirt. I'm going to lose my home. Well, here is the truth. PPC or advertising is never about profits. The goal of running PPC, it's about ranking and sales velocity. It's about getting your products to the top of page 1. And that is where the real money is made. So let's get real here. So you might be running ads at a 60% ACoS or even higher just to get your products moving up the rankings. And let me tell you something, that is totally normal. Why? Because the real win isn't the paid sales, it's the organic keyword rankings that you build. And this is where total ACoS or TACoS comes in, which stands for total advertising cost of sales. Now, TACoS is your total ad spend divided by your total sales, which means your advertising plus your organic sales. Now, if your TACoS is steady or dropping, your ads are working. You are feeling a long-term growth and not just chasing a quick buck. So let's run some numbers here to make you understand this better. Let's say that you spend $1,000 on ads and you get $2,000 in PPC sales. Well, the ACoS is about 50%. Ouch, right? But while you're sorting over that ACoS, your products actually picks up another $3,000 in organic sales thanks to the ranking boost that your PPC campaign did for you. Now, your total ACoS is $1,000 spent on ads divided by $5,000 on total sales. And your TACoS is just only 20%. And that is the real scoreboard and the one metric that is much more significant than your ACoS. By the way, I would recommend aiming your TACoS to be around 10% all the way to 20%. So the bottom line is that understanding that there is a much important metric out there, you want to play the long game and use PPC to build rank and velocity and watch the organic sales roll in. That is the sole purpose of a PPC campaign. And finally, let's destroy the myth that keeps more people stuck, broke, and frustrated than any other, which is Amazon is a passive income. Now, this is the biggest lie in the game. People jumps in thinking that Amazon is a money printing machine. You just set it up and you just kick back and watch the cash roll in. Now, the reality check is that Amazon is not passive. It's not even close. It is a full contact sport until you actually know the business, until you are making real money and can afford to hire a team of professionals to run it for you. And let me tell you, that team isn't cheap. I spent 4 years grinding before I built a team of 7- and 8-figure sellers who now manages over $50 million a year for me and my clients. And now that I have those professionals at my back, that is when Amazon becomes passive for me. And until then, it's all hustle and sweat. I see so many people quit their jobs thinking that they would just sip a margarita on the beach while Amazon does all the work for them. Well, spoiler, if you're not making serious money yet from Amazon, don't even think about passive income. You need to get your mindset right because this is not a get-rich-quick business. So if you're still believing any of these myths before, now it's time to snap out of it. The sellers who wins on Amazon, they never chase shortcuts. They don't fall for fairy tales. They play the long game with real strategies. Now you know the 5 myths that killed most Amazon businesses. Are you ready to learn what's actually working? Now click on to this next video where I will show you a PPC hack that will cut your ACoS by 50% overnight.